Hey everybody, I have a video here for you today. Wasn't planning on making a video today, but this turned out like a lot of my videos do. I start reading about something at night and it gets a little more fascinating. I end up making a video about it. Let's go down today to Wilczyce, Poland. Wilczyce, I think that is how it is pronounced. But this site here comes from the period right before the Younger Dryas set in. And I think this archaeological site is right down in this area here. But let's just take a look at some pics, do a little reading. I'll give you some of my own thoughts. And here is a close-up look at the archaeological site. And not much remained, but they did find plenty of stuff that made this very interesting. And especially the dating, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But here you see two distinct layers of history here at Wilczyce. One of the more interesting things here, and there are several interesting things at this site, but the Venus figurines that were found here, and I know that rings a bell for some of you, but they were found throughout the site, and here is a spatial distribution map of where these figurines were discovered. Here's another look at the site, and it says this group also includes fragmentary objects and 19 unfinished objects. The statuettes were most often made from splintered shards, more rarely from blades. Their length varies from 18 to 83 millimeters. They were divided into two groups according to the position of the buttocks. The first in right profile, that is to say buttocks to the right, has 27 specimens. The second in the left profile. Now these Venus figurines come from some very ancient sites from around the world. I know in Turkey and some of those ancient sites they have been found. But these seem to be very, very ancient representations of those Venus figures, shaped like this to symbolize a woman. Here are some more of them found. You know, if you may have just found one or two of these, is that really what they represent? But they found dozens of these, so clearly they had some significance. Here's what the actual artifacts look like. Now here is one figurine carved not from stone, but from bone. And I know they found one female Venus figurine carved out of a large horse bone. Here is a female figurine carved out of agate. And I know what agate is. I've gone agate hunting many times on the shores of Lake Superior, and that is why I'm familiar with it. Some of my relatives in northern Michigan and the UP used to have agate collections and on display right in their living rooms. Now here's the last Venus figurine I'm going to talk about. It says this is made of ivory, and it is unique not only in its length but also in its form. It is a remarkable figurine in which one side is straight. On the opposite side at the top, the breasts are scarcely visible. A strong constriction is observed in the middle part, while the bottom piece again assumes a bulging shape. Now here is a diagram of the site where they found different things. A lot of these figurines were found throughout the site, but in specific areas diagrammed here. Here on the left is the ivory Venus figurine. It was found here in the middle, near where the only skeletal remains were found at the site. A child maybe died at childbirth, very small, but there was a lot of Arctic fox teeth found near this child, and they theorize could have been a necklace or something interred. And it seems the only reason why this child was found here is because it was placed underneath a sandstone layer of the dwelling and kind of encased it. Everybody else here gone. The dating of the child remains, there was some collagen still found in the brain. It seems this place was like entombed. But collagen was found in the brain. Radiocarbon dating, 12,870 years ago, give or take maybe 75 years on each side. The 12,800 year ago date, 10,800 BC that we know that something really, really bad happened. That is the exact window for this burial, and that really makes me think, what happened to everybody else 12,800 years ago? The precise date of we know that something really, really bad happened that set off the Younger Dryas period. Now here is a shareable video from the site from archaeology. I will leave their link below. I always appreciate that when people make their video shareable by anybody. But when I read the description, I got really interested in the site. My Younger Dryas antenna went up a little. It says, almost like Pompeii, the debris of the Wilczyce camp was instantaneously sealed before it could start to fall into serious decay. Almost like Pompeii, this place was instantaneously sealed. Now, the dating here, what sort of natural disaster could have done that? Well, I've talked about that a lot on my channel, and others, including Randall Carlson, has also. It showed the trenches, and I just find it fascinating, different layers of history at this site. And here is one of the excavation pits. It's nice when you can get a little video shareable, and this comes from archaeology, and I will leave their link below. But there was many fragments of bone here, many different animals and birds. Mammoth, woolly rhinoceros, brown bear, Arctic fox, red fox, Arctic hare, antelope, squirrel, brown bear, herring, grouse, and goose. But I just think this is a super interesting site, coming from a period from prehistory, over 12,800 years ago. People seemed to be here, and then they were gone, and permafrost set in. They were making these Venus figurines, clearly, by the number of them found at the site. But they were making these in ancient Turkey and other Paleolithic places around the world. Also, these come from the pre-dynastic period, 4,000, 5,000, 6,000 BC, in the land we call Egypt today. That they were making these 13,000, 14,000 years ago also. Find that pretty interesting. But if you are new to my channel, this is kind of what my channel is all about. Bringing you sites you have never heard about and putting two and two together. I will leave the link for this video below. Please check it out. It's about a 10-minute video. That is the video on Wilczyce in Poland, a site that really screams out that this has something to do with the Younger Dryas disaster, possibly, but sealed like Pompeii. I just found that site very interesting. Those dates really screamed out at me that this is a pretty interesting place. But those Venus figurines, I thought that was very interesting. And that style is copied symbolically in Egypt and in Malta and different parts of this part of the world in later cultures, thousands of years down the line. Hope you thought that was cool. And you all have a very nice day.